Nothing's on the pump.
In Mid-Atlantic region, Capital Wrestling.
On A View from the Capitol, Portia Vaughn's dagger Mick Drake attempted to pierce the deathmatch vegan Jeff Cannonball. Did the friend of Tom find a way to win, or did the wokest Bay put the Newbridge native to sleep?
Speaking of sleep, my nightmare comes to life as Hot Dog Starks is let loose in public as he's dropped in the middle of Coney Island.
All this, plus I tried to teach Harry to samba. Welcome to Your View from the Capitol. Welcome, folks, to the brand new View from the Capitol, live from the Be Terrific studios. I'm Stephen James, alongside my trusty steed, Mr. Entertainment himself, Harry Turjanian. Harry, it's a great day to be a citizen of the Capitol, is it not?
Oh, absolutely, Stephen. As we gear up for this Saturday's big Torneo de Nada event in Hoboken, there is nothing that can ruin my mood on show week. Provided, of course, I stay away from social media, the TV news, and comments in, well, any place.
With the Capitol heating up this Saturday, Torneo de Nada, the action didn't stop this week as Portia Vaughn's dagger, the wokest Bay himself, can't believe I just had to say that, Mick Drake took on the last of a dying breed Jeff Cannonball in a hard-hitting contest which saw both men pulling no punches.
Absolutely, Stephen. But more importantly, before the match, we got to hear from my friend Portia Vaughn. You know, I'm a big supporter of feminism, so...
Of course.
Yeah, so I was happy to see Portia attempt to educate some of the illiterate Hoboken natives before the match.
This is a trigger warning for all you cisgendered, uneducated males here tonight.
Yeah, Stephen. It's a trigger warning.
I am the hashtag Femivist. That's feminist activist Portia Vaughn. Now I know when you hear feminist, you think of great icons like Gloria Steinem, Lena Dunham, and Hillary Rodham Clinton. But I am here to show you the new faces of feminism. First, a modern your prayers, Ariella Nix. And second, the wokest bay of Capital Wrestling and the dagger who slashes through the patriarchy, Mick Drake.
Day. What does that mean?
Right. He's woke, Steven.
Jeff is a lot like the rest of you. Uncivilized Neanderthals who resort to violence and rage as your only means of figuring out a solution.
Well, she does know
As
Jeff
opposed
Cannonball.
to the evolved gentleman you see before you, who is not only stronger mentally, he's stronger physically, and most importantly, he is stronger emotionally, because he knows to place his faith in the superior gender, which will bring him to victory.
The crowd here in Hoboken not appreciating the sentiments
Feminists
here.
know that we have to go high when you go low, but sometimes we know we have to sink to your level in order to keep you beneath us where you belong.
How wonderful. Wasn't that great? How wonderful to see feminism spreading all over, even in a dump like Hoboken.
I still don't know what wokest bay means, but either way, Mick Drake took on Jeff Cannonball in a battle. Let's just take a look.
And these misogynists here in Hoboken show no respect, just like. And it's going to take more than some signs to stop Cannonball. Ooh, nice super kick.
Of course, as we know, through Capital Wrestling social media, Mick Drake missed his recently scheduled match against Chuck Payne due to a, quote, channel your feminine side retreat in Key Largo?
Yeah, absolutely. You should go, Steven. It's all the rage, you know. It lets you know. It gets you in touch with the feminine side.
Juking and jiving, setting up shades of Dusty Rhodes, perhaps.
Kick to the stomach. Quick desperation by Mick Drake.
Mick Drake with a spit to the face, but you don't want to disrespect the deathmatch vegan. Shades of the dream, cover one.
Going for the cover,
two,
and it doesn't happen.
count only.
Not enough for Jeff Cannonball to try to get this win. I mean, Jeff Cannonball, a great athlete, but nowhere in the shape of Mick Drake. And set him up for the big splash, coming in, and this could have been it. Ooh, look at the quality of that elbow.
Jeff Cannonball, of course, looking to get on the board.
And this
in
is where
2018.
Cannonball had it all together until, Portia Vaughn trying to spread a little bit of feminism.
How dare you? That is
Well, why does she need to get involved in this?
Well, why does
There's
he
no
have his
reason.
hands on a woman like that? That's the real
If you
question.
want to get involved in some way,
And going for the
Ringside
Cannonball,
outside the place.
oh,
Jeff Cannonball
and
going for a
unfortunately,
Cannonball splash in the corner.
just one mistake too many for Jeff Cannonball. I think ultimately you can see here that's what's going to cost him this match here. Look at that belly-to-back suplex.
German suplex there. Harry, get it together.
I'm sorry, I mean, look at that. And it's all
You gotta be
right
kidding
there.
me.
Fundamental.
And we saw it right there. Mick Drake picking up another victory under the tutelage of Portia Vaughn. How can she continue to get involved and no one has stopped her?
Well, listen, it doesn't matter. All that matters is Mick Drake is on a win streak here in Capital Wrestling, and that's all that matters. Behind every great man, there's a woman pushing him harder.
But what's next for Portia Vaughn and her Femivist crusade? Perhaps it starts with making history.
For once, Stephen, you are right. History will be made as the answer to our prayers, and Capital Wrestling's women's champion, Ariella Nix, will defend her title for the first time ever against Corinne Mink.
Will it be a championship debut for Mink, or will Ariella Nix continue her historic reign? When we return, we break down the Torneo de Nada card with our own Scotty Cerriti, right here on A View from the Capitol. Hoboken, New Jersey, July 14th, Capital Wrestling returns to the Capitol Auditorium for the feel-good hit of the summer, Torneo de Nada. On this night, Matt Tremont makes his Capital Wrestling debut against MB Young. History shall be made as the newly christened Capital Wrestling Women's Championship will be defended when the champ, Ariella Nix, takes on Corinne Mink. The first ever Torneo de Nada takes place with the winner of this tournament receiving a shot at the Sapphire Tel Aviv title. All great sagas must have an end as the colossal Mike Law takes on the NRA's own Bo Crockett. Will Mike Law cancel the Bo Show, or will Crockett and Miss Christine ride off into the sunset?
former rivals Matt McIntosh, Anthony Gangone, and a returning Sonny Kiss team up against a trio of titans in the form of Darius Carter, Paul Jourdain, and the Memfo Mofo. July 14th, Hoboken, New Jersey, Capital Wrestling presents Torneo de Nada.
With Torneo de Nada just 3 days away, let's take an in-depth look at the action expected so far.
And who better to break down the card than a man who has one of the closest views of the action, our very own ring announcer, Supreme himself, Mr. Scotty Cerriti. Welcome, Scotty. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you guys for having me. Very excited to be here.
Welcome, absolutely. Let's start with the namesake of Saturday's event, Torneo de Nada, the tournament, which will determine the #1 contender for the Memfo Mofo's Sapphire Television Championship. The National Wrestling Alliance, he's their standard bearer. He's a guy who's had win after win. He's kept his title this whole time, since winning it from Mike Law.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and what a fighting champion he is, by the way. So much so that he created this tournament just to find the top competition. Let's look at the 2 first-round matches we have in the tournament for Saturday night.
The first is a matchup that features a man who hasn't had the best 2018. We just saw him in Jeff Cannonball. The last of a dying breed is looking to finally get on the board, not only to secure his first victory of 2018, but to take a step towards championship gold.
Yeah. But in his way stands a man who is usually in tag team action, Isaiah Wolf. With Isaiah Wolf, I swear it's like looking in a mirror. It's good-looking Hank Flanders.
A huge opportunity for good-looking Hank Flanders to take down one of the toughest men in the capital. The size difference is significant, Scotty, with Flanders giving up nearly 150 pounds to Jeff Cannonball. How much do you think that size difference plays up in this matchup?
That size difference is going to be everything. That's going to be the whole crux of Cannonball's offense, is going to be the big Cannonball roll that we saw, the splash in the corner, even to the point where he might throw in a greetings from Newbridge. So he's going to be throwing Hank Flanders around like a doll for most of that match, I feel. And I feel like Jeff Cannonball is probably going to be the one to advance in Torneo de Nada.
Well, I'm not so much worried about the match as I am worried about protecting Hank Flanders' face. I mean, I hope he's got that thing insured, because I'd hate to see anything happen to that.
That's fair.
Our second opening round matchup sees the unpredictable Jay George bring his unorthodox style to Torneo de Nada when he goes one-on-one with a returning Timmy Danger.
Well, Stephen, please, some decorum. I mean, you are talking about the supreme truth, Timmy Danger, and he has been away spreading the message of the Danger Sanctuary to all the less fortunate places around the world, and obviously he felt that Hoboken he could skip because it's a lost cause. So
Jay George and his unusual offense is something that perhaps can throw Timmy Danger off his game.
Well, unusual, that is being too kind. The man gets on his knees and he barks like a dog and he headbutts people. I mean, Scotty, how do you prepare for a match that's with someone like Jay George, if you're a member of the Danger Sanctuary?
There honestly is no good way to prepare for a match with Jay George, because every time Jay George steps between those ropes, he does something different. You can study all the tape you want, but if he keeps changing the formula, it's not going to work for you if all you're doing is studying old Jay George tape.
Well, I've called a couple of his matches, and I'll say from a personal perspective, I've never called the same match twice. I mean,
Exactly.
not just maneuvers, I mean the same style of match twice. I mean, at one point we called the match together where somebody got dumped on a pile of Dorito potato chips.
I don't like to talk about that.
Yeah.
I'm still scarred.
It's a hard one. Those people
Those were
have
Southwest
families.
flavors.
Yeah, those spices, they do tend to burn.
But how important is conserving your energy in a match when you know that you have still another match to go in this tournament? How important is that?
It's definitely the most important thing, especially when you consider other tournaments that have happened. This is a smaller scale, of course, but still important for the Sapphire TV title.
Of course.
However, say Hank Flanders does pull out the victory and defeat Jeff Cannonball, well, how's he going to keep himself in tip-top shape to take on either Jay George or Timmy Danger? It's going to be really difficult to keep your energy up after that.
Yeah.
So,
well, here's a question I have. I already know the answer to it, but do you think there's even a remote possibility that any of these 4 competitors could end up taking this title away from the Memfo Mofo?
anything is possible. Anything is possible, especially when you consider the unpredictability of Jay George, the dark horse, let's say, of Hank Flanders, the very violent, just bash down style of Jeff Cannonball, as well as Timmy Danger just doing whatever he sees fit with doing. It's all sorts of variables that any one of them standing across from the Mofo could mean trouble.
Let's move on from the Torneo de Nada tournament onto a match that, let's face it, is a message, is a statement from co-founder Marcus Dowling to the AOC.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. This time Marcus Dowling, in my opinion, he's gone way too far. I mean, to bring in a former CZW champion and deathmatch expert, the bulldozer, Matt Tremont, I mean, that's akin to manslaughter here. I mean, what is he doing? And also to bar the AOC from ringside? I mean, come on, what is this, North Korea?
MV Young is going to have to fend for himself. But what was Marcus Dowling supposed to do? The AOC has gotten involved in multiple match outcomes, most recently getting involved at the end of Logan Black's match against Matt McIntosh, pummeling him after the bell. What is he supposed to do?
Listen, I don't know. I just think the solution is too much. I mean, to me, a 3-on-1 match is more than fair. I mean, don't you think so, Scotty?
I mean, you would think that given the circumstances, but absolutely not, because Tremont would still bulldoze, pardon the pun, through each and every one of them. I've seen Matt Tremont stand across the ring from some of the biggest and the baddest. He is a world-traveled warrior. There's nothing that Tremont hasn't done in this business, and MV Young's going to be in a lot of trouble. AOC being banned isn't something that Marcus did for Matt Tremont. It's something Marcus did because he's tired of AOC getting involved in all these matches.
Absolutely. Scotty, I got to ask you, though, a guy like MV Young, a guy who's a blue chipper, a guy who, if you've watched him in the ring, despite his tactics and his affiliation, the kid has a motor on him.
Absolutely.
He's insane. He's the pop punk prototype. He calls himself that for a reason. What can he do against a man that, like we were alluding to, he fears no pain?
He's got to rely on his usual offense. He's got to rely on those knees. He's got to rely on the suplexes. If he can get Tremont up and over just once, I feel like that's going to be the turning point that MV Young needs to win this match.
Well, that's a big if, though. Let's be honest. I mean,
absolutely.
That's a tough task. But what about the AOC not being at ringside? I mean, I'm worried for my safety as an announcer. Personally, this thing could devolve into who knows what the
You'll
heck.
be fine. It's not Juba.
Is he here?
He's not here. Don't worry.
Don't joke like that, because that is not.
As I said before, the AOC being away has nothing to do with us or the match that's happening. It all has to do with Marcus Dowling making a point to say, you guys did wrong and it's your turn to pay the price. He benched him. That's all.
Debut match in the Capitol aside, Matt Tremont is a world-tested and battle-tested competitor, while MV Young is comparatively less experienced. My question is, how much does that experience play into it? What sort of advantage, experience-wise, do you think Matt Tremont has over MV Young?
Well, let's not say that MV Young's a slouch of any sort. He's traveled the world in his young age as well. He's been all over. But Tremont is somebody who's been in there with some of the most violent people in the world, not just in this business, in the world, and he's been able to hold his own. MV Young's going to have to hope that he could be able to keep up with that. That's really the only game plan you can have when going against somebody like a Matt Tremont.
We are breaking down some of this Saturday's Capitol Wrestling event, Torneo de Nada in Hoboken, with none other than Scotty Cerriti, a professional wrestling mainstay, and our own Capitol Wrestling ring announcer supreme.
Absolutely. Enough shameless pandering, Steven. We have got graphics people here. They can handle that. But let's talk about our main event Saturday, the 6-man tag. We're talking about wrestling's richest prize, Darius Carter, teaming up with the Endgame, Paul Jourdain, and the Memfo Mofo to take on Anthony Gangone, the one above all, Matt McIntosh, and, of course, a returning Sonny Kiss.
A huge main event for sure, with all 6 men having so much history with each other on both sides of the ring. Starting with Darius Carter and Anthony Gangone, a former mentor of Gangone's, the father of change, ended his undefeated streak in the Capitol.
Yeah, absolutely. But you can't disregard the fact that, Paul Jourdain, he has his own gripe with the bad apple Matt McIntosh after what many have called the greatest match in the history of Capitol Wrestling. The Endgame was unsuccessful, and now, the 6'8", 298-pound monster himself, he's looking to stop all the momentum for Matt McIntosh.
While the Mofo and Sonny have yet to cross paths in the Capitol, many have speculated that the NRA will look to use this opportunity to take out one of the biggest sports entertainers in Capitol Wrestling, the Concrete Rose.
Yeah, but that's not all. You also have to consider that, Sonny Kiss, Gangone, McIntosh, they all have their own history on that side as well. They spent the last year competing with one another and still all feel like they should be the face of Capitol Wrestling and feel like they should be the Capital Wrestling champion. So that's going to factor in at some point. I mean, you know, you got to ask yourself, Scotty, who has the most to gain from this match?
I mean, when you break it down, the things you need to look at is who has the most to lose and who has the most to gain.
Right.
Sonny Kiss, it's been a while since we've seen him at the Capitol, and a big victory on his first time back. You know, that would be a huge boon to his career at the Capitol. As well, Memfo Mofo also has a title already. He already has the Sapphire title, and that title isn't on the line, nor is that title being defended at all. So what does he have to lose from this other than a notch in the L column, if you will?
Well, speaking of Sonny Kiss, I mean, do you think that any of his partners or any of the people in the Capitol locker room, for that matter, have a little bit of resentment towards Sonny Kiss? I mean, you know, he's been having a lot of success going to different places. He just recently appeared on Lucha Underground. There's rumors as to where else he's going to sign. He's been doing a lot of great stuff, and disappears from the Capitol for a while, shows up, he's instantly back in the main event. Do you think there's some resentment from other people in the locker room towards him, even his partners?
There may be, but there shouldn't be, especially when you have to work together with someone like Sonny Kiss. Having Sonny Kiss on your side is nothing but a good thing, especially considering how exciting and how electric his style is and how all the fans get on their feet whenever they see Sonny. That's enough to push someone into a main event picture regardless of who's teaming with him.
And of course, regardless of which team comes out on top, this matchup must have implications regarding Ken Dixon's Capital Wrestling Championship. Do you agree? Do you think that that's the natural next step? Whichever team wins this is firmly in place?
100%. I feel like whoever comes out of this as the victor will definitely be going after Ken Dixon sooner rather than later. I'm not 100% sure on when, but if it is Gangone and McIntosh and Sonny, that's definitely going to be something that will need to be addressed amongst the three of them. And if it is the other team, I have a feeling it's going to take a little more time just because of Ken Dixon's stance in the Capitol as well as the other three men in this match.
Well, speaking of champions, rather former champions, the Colossal Mike Law is still out to gain some measure of revenge on Bo Crockett of the National Wrestling Alliance for costing him the Sapphire Television Championship.
Yeah, but after the last time Law tried to go after Crockett, he found himself on the losing end of a pinfall. Should Mike Law just cut his losses? Or, I mean, at this point, isn't this vendetta more trouble than it's worth? What do you think?
This is a risk you have in diving into professional wrestling where you start chasing somebody and you get so angry and you get so enveloped in the chase that it starts affecting your win rate. And Mike Law has never been one to back down from a fight, so I don't see him backing down from this at any time. Anytime. He's going to go after this until either he or Bo Crockett's dead, probably.
I mean, well, you also got to know that the Bo Show is anything but a solo performance. The NRA can be in any building at any time, not to mention that chain that Bo Crockett carries, Miss Christine. He can pull out at any time.
That's a very fair statement, and it's always the variable when dealing with Bo Crockett or the NRA.
Yeah, and not since B.B. King had Lucille has a man used one instrument so successfully as Bo Crockett has. And if Mike Law's obsession gets away from him, he's going to find himself singing the blues again.
But you won't be singing the blues if you join us this Saturday, July 14th, for Torneo de Nada. Once again, thanks, Scotty Ceriti, for helping us break down this card.
Thank you for having me, guys.
It's been a joy. More to come from the View from a Capitol. It's coming up.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Hoboken, New Jersey, July 14th, Capital Wrestling returns to the Capitol Auditorium for the feel-good hit of the summer, Torneo de Nada. On this night, Matt Tremont makes his Capital Wrestling debut against MB Young. History shall be made as the newly christened Capital Wrestling Women's Championship will be defended when the champ, Ariella Nix, takes on Courtney Eubank. The first ever Torneo de Nada takes place with the winner of this tournament receiving a shot at the Sapphire Television title. All great sagas must have an end as the Colossal Mike Law takes on the NRA's own Bo Crockett. Will Mike Law cancel the Bo Show, or will Crockett and Miss Christine ride off into the sunset? Former rivals Matt McIntosh, Anthony Gangone, and a returning Sonny Kiss team up against a trio of titans in the form of Darius Carter, Paul Jourdain, and the Memfo Mofo. July 14th, Hoboken, New Jersey, Capital Wrestling presents Torneo de Nada.
And welcome back to A View from the Capitol. And speaking of Torneo de Nada, we're going to be talking right now with a man who's part of the main event, wrestling's richest prize, Mr. Darius Carter. Darius, there you are. Darius, Mr. Carter, thank you. It is a pleasure to have a refined gentleman, a businessman, and just a scholar such as yourself joining us today. Thank you so much for being with us today.
I know it's great for you. I know it's wonderful for you. You are welcome. Keep going. Go ahead.
First, I just want to say I want to wish you a belated happy birthday.
He knows when his birthday is, Stephen. You didn't send a card. I sent 2, by the way. I hope you got my 2 birthday cards, sir.
You'd have to ask my people. I did not receive your card.
You know what?
No.
Fair enough. You get so many cards when you're at that stature. You don't. The sentiment is there, and I know he understands that.
Let's just get to the questions here. You've wrestled all over the world, multiple championships, tremendous accolades, and unrivaled resume. Why Capitol Wrestling, and why now?
This was the time to do it. I've been watching Capitol. I've been keeping my eye on the Capitol, and I always said that I was going to be part of the Capitol. It was just a matter of finding the right opening, the right opportunity, and results will show that I did exactly that. I showed up when I needed to. I made the move that I needed to make, and now I'm, look at me, undefeated, leading the triumvirate of terror into a 6-man main event. I've done my job. I've done my job already.
You definitely have made a really quick impact here upon your arrival in Capitol Wrestling. I mean, what was the goal coming into the Capitol for you?
The goal was to establish myself as the new standard bearer in quick order. And that's exactly what I did. See, I showed up at the end of year 1, and in one night, I became the topic of the Capitol. It wasn't about Sonny Kiss. It wasn't about Matt McIntosh, who had this wonderful, lovely, great wrestling match with all these moves and great things. Wonderful, great. Everyone was cheering, wonderful. But at the end of the day, the last person standing at the end of the anniversary show after 1 year of Capitol Wrestling, who was that person? Who was that person standing there?
Darius Carter. Wrestling's richest prize. Absolutely.
You find yourself in another main event, and there are absolutely people in the Capitol Wrestling locker room who are, quite frankly, upset by you being in the spotlight so quickly. If you have a moment, what would you say to them?
I did what they were afraid to do. See, people will sit in the back and watch the TV monitor, and they'll watch the match, and they'll nitpick these matches, and they'll complain and say, "Oh man, that should have been me." And why am I not the one getting the opportunity? Why does Sonny Kiss get all the opportunity? Why does McIntosh get the opportunity? Why does Paul Jourdain get the opportunity? Why does Memphis Mofo have a championship? This is what people do. They complain, they whine, they agonize themselves. Me, I take action. I see something I don't like, and I make sure that I convert it into something that I like. And that's what I did. That's what I did. I took advantage of an opportunity that presented itself. I wasn't the one who shook hands with Matt McIntosh and stood in the ring by myself after the end of the match. That wasn't me. That was Sonny. That was arrogance. That was an inability to step away from the spotlight. When it's time, your match was over, go to the back. But Sonny wanted to stay out, and Sonny wanted to shake hands, and Sonny wanted to revel in the crowd and the cheers. And that is what caused Sonny. If Sonny wasn't in that ring, I couldn't have attacked him. Now, could I?
That's a fair point. That is a fair point. But again, speaking of opportunities, you have another one Saturday night. Here's a question for you. What is at stake for this 6-man tag? Other than the win, what do you want out of this?
No, it's not a no. It's nothing else but the win. And that's what people seem to forget. And I heard Scott mention, being a champion and you have nothing to lose. That is incorrect, because Memphis Mofo is on a team with me. Paul Jourdain is on a team with me. Victory to me is essential. A victory means that you're on the right track, that you're doing the right things. If you lose, if your shoulders are pinned to the mat, if you tap out, you are failing in some capacity. That is for people like Anthony Gangone, who just couldn't learn his place. He couldn't be friends with Darius Carter. He couldn't open the door for me after all I've done for him in the Crusade for Change and his career and all the motivation I've given him. I've essentially made Gangone what he is today. People don't want to hear that. Oh, they love Gangone. He's this great wrestler. No. Gangone was molded, crafted, created, and manufactured by Mr. Darius Carter. And when it came time for him to meet his maker, he did twice. That man was undefeated before I stepped foot in the Capitol, and once I did, he lost twice. Sonny Kiss is coming back after losing. We're not going to talk about that, how he lost to Matt McIntosh. We're just going to talk about how they were friends and they shook hands. No, he lost. And he's coming back to face the most dangerous man in Capitol, me, with the Endgame and with the Sapphire Champion. And then Matt McIntosh, who's the favorite, and he's another great wrestler. But Matt is not enough. It's the story of his life. He's not enough. He's good, could be great, but he's not.
All right.
It's as simple as that.
Wow.
Well, you talk about being the father of change and having the crusade of change. Is this one of the changes you look to bring to the Capitol, making everyone else better around you to step up to your game?
Well, firstly, it's crusade for change. Corrections are very important. They make you better in life, so you're welcome for that.
There you go, Stephen. Correct.
It was on the prompter.
Well, now you know better. He's correcting you. You should be thankful. My goodness. I'm sorry. Please go on.
Harry wrote it.
You're nodding your head. Why are you nodding your head? Say thank you.
Yeah, just say thank you. Why is it so hard? Just say thank you.
Thank
you,
you,
Mr.
Mr.
Carter.
Carter.
There
Mr.
we go.
Carter.
See, was that so hard?
A little.
Not bad.
See?
Okay. Hey. Just go with it.
Yeah.
All right? Unbelievable. What's that guy next to you? Harry, what's his name?
I'm legally required to refer to him as Mr. Entertainment Harry Turjani.
Thank you.
It's in his rider.
Absolutely.
I was asking who you are, not Harry.
Yeah,
Harry.
he knows me. He knows class when he sees it. This is Stephen James. You might not know him, but for the beard, he looks like he's in the witness protection program. It's Stephen James, the voice of Capitol Wrestling.
Okay, Harry, I don't need you telling me what he is. I see him quite clearly. Anyway, moving forward. Okay, this Torneo de Nada is about difference. It's about change. You say, what's my mission in Capitol? What do you want me to do? It's obvious that I'm looking to be at the top as quickly as possible. I've aligned myself with people such as Logan Easton LaRoe, intelligent businessmen, because this is what Capitol needs. So you have people like Jeff Cannonball floating around, Jay Georges. You have these characters that are just drifting in and out, but you need someone that's going to make a difference. You need someone that can take the ball and roll with it. Not Sonny Kiss, who disappears when it comes time to do that. Not Matt McIntosh, who, again, is good, but he's never the first option. And then you have Anthony Gangone, who's been proven insignificant twice. So when you look at the Triumvirate of Terror, you see the Endgame, and you see Memphis Mofo, and you see me. You see your future. And I won't say anything about Ken Dixon, because Ken is holding a championship that, let's just say it's very alluring. Let's just say I see what he's wearing. But right now, I'm looking at the entire picture. I'm looking at the tag team division. I'm looking at the untapped potential in teaming with another individual. And I see the fact that I am competing in a third match type. 3 different match types right here. I got it done in a singles match against Gangone, get it done in a tag team match against Mike Law and Gangone, and then get it done in a 6-man tag match. My resume is impervious.
Absolutely.
In 3 matches.
Absolutely. And speaking of 3, when you have 3 big personalities in yourself, Paul Jourdain and Memphis Mofo, how do you determine who takes sort of the leadership role in a match like this?
I'm the leader. It's not a determination. What is that? What are you trying to insult me?
No. I assumed that was the answer you're going to give, but I want other people to know, because I expected that's the answer the leader gives is, I'm the leader. And I'm not surprised by that answer. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Darius Carter, Wrestling's Richest Prize. We look forward to seeing you this Saturday night, July 14th at Torneo de Nada. It's going to be fantastic to be in your presence that night.
When we come back, we're going to take a look at one of the finest moments in the history of Capital Wrestling. It's your favorite man, the hot dog man from Hot Dog Land, the man who weighs 1 metric bun. We're going to take a look at Hot Dog Starks.
On a plate somewhere.
Lots of fun had by the unique Hot Dog Sparks.
I can't believe that I work in the same company, honestly. I had to put on a suit. He dresses up like a hot dog.
I mean, come on, Harry, don't be such a sauerkraut. You get it?
Yeah, no, I get it.
Sour.
You're proud of yourself?
Wait, sauerkraut?
No, I get it.
Because it's a hot dog.
No, I get it. I get it. You're proud of yourself on that?
I am proud of myself.
Well, remember during the production meeting when we said we were going to treat this like a serious wrestling show because we didn't want people to look at wrestling seriously?
Vaguely, I think I was asleep. I was taking a nap.
Fair enough. Well, going from the absurd to the opulent, we are going to talk a lot about what's going on in the main event. Sonny Kiss has been absent from Capital Wrestling the last several months, off doing a lot of amazing things, and we had our own Candice Cordia.
We're not going to do that.
We're not. I'm sorry. We're not doing that.
We're not. We can't do that.
We're not doing that segment.
We're not going to do that.
Is there a change on the thing? Because I thought
there's a little bit of a change.
What are we doing instead? I'm sorry. What are we doing?
Instead, what we're going to do is a little segment we like to call Predictions from the Capital Wrestling Fortune Teller.
Okay. All right. Wow. Okay. We are going to do that then?
Yeah, I got to. Is it on straight?
Yeah, no, it's on straight. That's not the problem with the hat.
What's the problem?
Well, I thought we agreed we weren't doing the Swami thing because we wanted to be a serious show.
This isn't serious? But look at this sweet hat.
That is a sweet hat. Fair enough. Let's do this. Can we get some ominous music and a lighting change, please? Perfect. All right, here we go. Capital Fortune Teller. Will Ken Dixon finish out 2018 as the Capital champion?
The future does not look bright for young Ken Dixon. There's too much hungry talent in the Capital locker room, and with 5 months left, no matter how tough he is, it'll be too much for the Capital Wrestling champion.
Okay, fair enough. How about this? Can Matt McIntosh, Sonny Kiss, and Anthony Gangone coexist as one team Saturday night?
Wait, I'm getting something. 3 of Capital Wrestling's most audacious and talented stars will have no choice but to put their egos behind them if they hope to contain the prowess of Paul Jourdain, Darius Carter, and Mefo Mofo.
Okay.
That's obvious. You don't need to be a mind reader.
Fair enough. Will we see the heat that the Perfect Strangers keep referring to at Capital Wrestling?
He will make his presence felt through the Perfect Strangers as they team up. But with he will come forth when the time is right.
So you don't know?
No, the crystal ball's a little murky on that.
Okay, fair enough. All right, what do you see happening when the Fella Twins, Rick Cataldo and Eddie McQueen, take on Billy Dixon and Ashton Starr?
The outcome will be...
Yes?
The outcome will be... Wait.
Yes, what is it?
Fabulous.
Okay, fair enough. Marcus Dowling placed MV Young in what everyone knows is a punishment by having him go up against Matt Tremont and banning the AOC. What do you see in MV Young's future this Saturday night? What do you see in his future?
I see ice packs. I see bandages. I see hospital beds. Wait, he's in the same hospital as Matthew Ryan Shapiro. I see Matthew Ryan Shapiro. He's He's getting up. Oh, his hospital gown is open.
Okay.
Ugh.
All right. No need. There's no need for that.
Some things you just can't unsee.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, finally, our last big question of the night. Who will win the Torneo de Nada and find themselves the #1 contender for the Sapphire Television Championship?
To find that out, you have to join us this Saturday night in Hoboken, 301 Garden Street, 8 p.m. bell time.
All right, nice touch. Fair enough, nice touch.
I mean, it is wrestling after all.
And what are you going to do? You feel good about that segment?
I feel pretty good.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Fair enough. Well, if you thought that was off the wall, just take a look at what we have next for this week's Capital Wrestling. Take a look at all the things that are happening Saturday night. If you think this is off the wall, we got a lot going for you. You don't have to be a mind reader to know that it's going to be a fantastic time. Oh, wait a minute.
What?
I have a prediction.
A prediction?
A prediction.
Do you want the hat?
No, I'm not wearing the stupid hat. I'm just not wearing
I look
the stupid
fabulous.
hat.
I'm sorry.
I'm predicting something going down on August. What is the date? August. Is it the 10th? That's right, August 10th, something special that nobody knows about, and we are announcing right here, right now, tonight on the show. Steven, what's going on August 10th? If you're such a mind reader, you tell me.
August 10th, we have you didn't prepare me for this. I don't know. You're
We've
the
got a
Swami.
special event happening August 10th. We're going to announce it now. We're doing a one-night-only live event, not a Capitol taping. You're not going to be able to see these. This is happening one night only, a special event, the Colossal Confrontation, live from the Capitol Center. We're talking 15 Frank E. Rogers Boulevard, Harrison, New Jersey, Friday night, August 10th. Doors open at 7. Broadcast starts at 8 p.m. And also, we will be doing it live on Twitch. One night only. You're going to miss out on some great action if you don't come out. We're announcing this tonight.
Why didn't anybody tell me this?
People don't like you, Steven. I don't think you understand. It's probably the stupid hat you're wearing.
Stupid hat?
Yeah.
Look, I'm a professional mind reader, soothsayer, if you will.
Yeah? Well, what am I thinking about right now?
You're thinking about October or perhaps July 14th, this Saturday.
Yeah.
Torneo de Nada comes to you live. You have me thinking about October. You got my mojo all mixed up.
I'm thinking about wrapping up the show is what I was thinking about. You got it all wrong.
Torneo de Nada this Saturday live, 301 Garden Street in Hoboken. Come join us. It's gonna be great. Thanks to the Be Terrific Studios here for having us here tonight. View from the Capitol. The first episode, not so bad.
Not too bad.
I'd give you a 4.
You give me a 4? We're
You a
doing
4.
rankings?
Yeah, you're a 4.
So
Darius
do it.
Carter's about an 11. I mean,
Yeah. I give you a 4, but I give the suit back to the dry cleaners. We got to go. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. It's a great, check us out. And also, please check out WrestleZone.com for more information on what's going on with the Capitol Wrestling. You can check us out on all the social media. Good night. Enjoy some wrestling, folks.
he's been Mr. Entertainment. I've been Stephen James. Good night. You got to tell them who we are.
Yeah, that's fine. They know who I am. I'm famous. It's like you've never done this before.
Hoboken, New Jersey, July 14th, Capitol Wrestling returns to the Capitol Auditorium for the feel-good hit of the summer, Torneo de Nada. On this night, Matt Tremont makes his Capitol Wrestling debut against MB Young. History shall be made as the newly christened Capitol Wrestling Women's Championship will be defended when the champ, Ariella Nix, takes on Cody Eubank. The first ever Torneo de Nada takes place with the winner of this tournament receiving a shot at the Sapphire Television title. All great sagas must have an end as the colossal Mike Law takes on the NRA's own Bo Crockett. Will Mike Law cancel the Bo Show, or will Crockett and Miss Christine ride off into the sunset? Former rivals Matt McIntosh, Anthony Gangone, and a returning Sonny Kiss team up against a trio of titans in the form of Darius Carter, Paul Jourdain, and the Benfo Mofo. July 14th, Hoboken, New Jersey, Capitol Wrestling presents Torneo de Nada.